The Italian America show is sponsored by Full Sponsorship, Cento Fine Foods, trust your family with our family. The Bianchi Law Group, Dr. K, the management professor, the authors of the #1 international best-selling cookbook, Don't Cut the Basil, Dr. Mark D'Annunzio, National 4th Vice President, Order Sons and Daughters of Italy in America. The Grand Lodges from the following states: New York, Ohio, Virginia, Maryland. Long Shot Productions, Get Back in the Game. ACMT, Excellence in Aerospace Manufacturing.
Hello, welcome to the Italian America Show. I'm Mark D'Annunzio calling in from Pensacola Beach, Florida, and I'd like to introduce my co-host, Dr. Mary Kovac from Ohio. Also joining us is Justin Smith, who is the Managing Director of our national office in Washington, D.C. Welcome, Justin.
Pleased to be here.
Our special guest today is Cristiana Panico, who is the founder of Sant'Anna Institute in Sorrento, Italy. Welcome, Cristiana. Thank you for joining us today from Sorrento, all the way from Italy.
Thank you, grazie. Buongiorno a tutti.
So we appreciate you being on the show. We have some questions for you so that our audience can learn more about what you offer and maybe be able to take advantage of it. And so first, what courses do you offer at the Institute, and how do you develop the curriculum?
So we have students coming from all over the United States for semester or summer programs, taking classes in business studies, in cultural studies, humanities and arts, and natural sciences, health and science, and social sciences, and of course Italian studies, so including Italian language and literature. We have a partnership with a university in Florida, Jackson University. So all of our courses are accredited by AUS University. So our students come here, take classes with us, and then they get the credits from the American University. So the credits can be transferred easily to any other campus in America.
Very nice. So what's the most important thing that you have to tell our audience about your institute?
I actually come from the north of Italy. I'm from Torino. I moved here 25 years ago, and I still remember the first time I saw this place. I just fell in love. It was, the first time for me 25 years ago to come to the south, and I didn't expect it to be so beautiful. So after a year that I lived here, I thought, well, this is too beautiful. This is too nice. A mix of things like, the culture, the traditions, the people, the beauty of the landscape, the lifestyle. And I told myself, well, I should share this with, the young generation. And having been myself a study abroad student, I studied in England. I lived in England for 2 years. I lived in Germany for a year, and I studied languages for all of my life. I thought, well, this is the right place to start teaching my own language and sharing the beauty of Italy, and especially about this territory with, foreigners, but in particular with the young students. And so one day I woke up and I said, okay, let me try, and I started the business on my own without knowing exactly where I was going, but I knew that I was doing something really good.
What's the secret to my famous margarita pizza? Fresh basil, fresh mozzarella, and cento.
People ask my wife, what's the secret to your bolognese?
A little of this, a pinch of that, and cento.
Grandma passed on 2 family secrets. Saute, don't fry,
and always cook with cento.
It's no secret that the best tasting dishes use cento, San Marzano tomatoes imported from Italy, with nothing added, just authentic flavor for authentic Italian cooking. Cento, trust your family with our family.
Ne amo della terra la montagna, no passeggero, severe frocce dalla Spagna, e vecate, io vecate.
Is there something that students come over and something that they're just surprised at, that they thought, wow, I didn't know, the large meal was served in the middle of the day versus dinner, lunches, the big meal, something along those lines?
Well, I think that the majority of the students come here with an idea of Italy that they have seen or read or heard by the family. So the majority arrive and they probably expect something that is not, what they've seen in movies. Some other things like some of the things that they see and they are surprised about switch into something even more positive. Okay, so for example, they know that we are friendly, but they find that we're really friendly. They know the food is good, but they realize it's really good. But other things like, for example, I remember one student coming from upstate in New York. One day he was almost leaving. He was spring semester. So spring semester is January to April. So the town is a little bit more calm. There are less tourists, so they can really see the Italian, lifestyle more than during the summer, because summer is very, crazy with people and so on. So this guy at the end of the semester came to me and he wanted to say goodbye. And he said, Cristiana, after this experience, I decided that I want to get married. I said, okay, that's good for you. I'm happy for you. Did you find a girlfriend? And he said, no, I don't have a girlfriend, but I know I want to get married. And I said, why you say that? And he said, because every Sunday I go to church and I see families all together going to the church on Sunday. And after the church, they walk on the main street all together, kids, the mother and the father. And then they go to the main piazza and they see friends and the kids play with other kids and the parents start talking, and then they go to the cafe and they have the cafe and they stay together. And he said, this sense of the family, he said, I never experienced in my life. And I saw this when I came here to Italy. So when people ask me, what is the magic of studying abroad? It's for sure the possibility to study maybe a subject that the students didn't have the chance to study in their university. But it's not only that, it's the experience to live in full the culture, to understand. For example, how can you explain what is a piazza? Okay, a piazza for an Italian, it's not just a square with a fountain or with something. The piazza is the place in which you meet people.
So Justin, you've been through this program. Can you tell us a little bit about your experience?
I think I can honestly say that studying abroad at Sant'Anna with Christiana, for me was a life-changing event. The decision was pretty easy. When I studied abroad there, there weren't as many programs as there are today, and a lot of them were situated in Italy, in Florence, in Rome, and I was fortunate enough to go to Italy growing up. I knew my family in Italy, so I knew that I didn't want to be in those kind of major metropolitan places. So I kind of stumbled across Christiana and Sant'Anna Institute, and I did as she mentioned, a winter through, and I ended up staying a little bit longer. I stayed into the summer. I was there about 5, maybe 5.5, 6 months. And it was a pretty pivotal experience for me. Being in a foreign country, I got to practice my Italian. I did a homestay, so I lived with a family. It was really just a single woman, but we lived together, and it was a pretty pivotal, life-changing experience. And I think I would recommend it to anybody, and I always do. I think that Sorrento itself, I mean, if you see where the school is located, it kind of takes your breath away right there. It's in the marina, so the view, you can see Vesuvius, you can see Naples, so it's all around, a spectacular experience, and something that you'll never forget. It is life-changing. It's for many people, it's kind of a pivotal moment. Whether or not they go back to the university and finish in the United States, and they don't go to Italy for 20 years, it's still going to be a time that people talk about. The people that I was there at the same time with, a lot of them haven't had the chance to come back to Italy, but it's still something that I see them on Facebook posting about and talking about, and something they'll never forget.
What is really important for us is to offer the students a real hands-on experience with the classes. So the majority of the courses that we offer are designed specifically according to our territory. So for example, we have, of course, some classes that are more successful than others, like for example, our course in archaeology. So because we live just 20 minutes far from one of the most important archaeological sites, which is Pompeii, I would say 30% of the classes are, on site. So this is what makes the big difference for a student to take an archaeology class in America or here. So the majority of our classes have field trips that are linked to the class that the student is taking. And this is what really can make a big difference for the academic experience that the students is taking. And the same, for example, with the history of the mafia. We go and visit some places in which, the government, for example, confiscated some real estate and now transformed the real estate in cooperatives that now, have a business. Or, marine biology, we are right in the water, so they do snorkeling, they do research and things like that. So this is, we like to define our classes, in a way that they're not inside in a classroom. So our classrooms is the territory. And this is what, can remain forever in our students' experience, much more than just being in front of a book. Another important class, because we consider, this as a class, is the internship, which is very successful at the moment with us. So students can take a 3 or 6 credits internship. And this is another amazing way for our students to live in full the Italian culture. It can be tough sometimes, but studying abroad is a challenge. I tell the students every time at the first day when they arrive, when we have orientation, And I tell them, you are courageous. And I'm very impressed and I'm very happy that you are here, because it takes a courage to leave the comfort zone, and go and live in a place where you don't know anything. You don't know any friends, you don't know the people. Most of the time, you don't know the language, you don't know the culture. So it's tough. In interning, it's even more, because you work in an environment that's very different. You asked me at the beginning, what are the differences? When we talk about business, there are a lot of differences. For example, sometimes Italians are not very punctual, because we say, oh, let's meet at 12. And it's always like, kind of 12, it can be 12, 15. But it teaches students to be flexible. Life sometimes it's not always punctual. Sometimes there are moments in which you have to be flexible. So tolerance, flexibility, understanding that it's not only one way to do business, but there are always, there are other ways. Sometimes you like it or you don't like it, but at least you know that there is something different, And the internships are in tourism and hospitality. We have students in culinary, we have students in arts galleries, in ONGs, associations, so many, many different types of internship, and this is very successful too.
It's an immense honor to be here.
I just think that this gala is such a great opportunity for kids all around the country.
And this means so much to me on an even deeper level.
You're helping a lot of young kids.
Hoorah! Thank you for this Lifetime Achievement Award.
I thank you very much, and I'm very honored.
May God bless you all.
Thank you for thinking I'm worthy of this.
We can sing in the glow of a song that I know of, our love is enjoy, peace of mind.
What's the secret to my famous margarita pizza? Fresh basil, fresh mozzarella, and cento.
People ask my wife, what's the secret to your bolognese?
A little of this, a pinch of that, and cento.
Grandma passed on 2 family secrets. Saute, don't fry,
and always cook with cento.
It's no secret that the best tasting dishes use cento, San Marzano tomatoes imported from Italy, with nothing added, just authentic flavor for authentic Italian cooking. Cento, trust your family with our family.
Watch the Italian America Show every Sunday night at 8 p.m. on News 12 Plus and celebrate the best of Italian American culture. Each week, we will feature an exclusive interview with a prominent Italian American from around the country. You can watch the Italian America Show on Optimum 61, Verizon 530, or stream live from anywhere on News12.plus. For more on Order Sons and Daughters of Italy in America, visit osdia.org and follow along on social media.
Christiana, tell me, how many instructors do you have there, and what's your typical class size?
Well, the class size is small. I would say we have a maximum of 20 students per class. And this is what makes, the relationship, among the students and with the faculty more intimate in a way. So they have the chance to spend a lot of time with our faculty. And we have 16 different faculty teaching, of course, different classes. And some of them, they're PhDs faculty, some of them with a master, some of them professionists as well.
How do you find faculty members? How does somebody get involved with your institute?
Yeah, sometimes from the public university in Naples, where we have the universities, sometimes using LinkedIn as well. For us, it's one of the most important part of our job, recruiting faculty, because there is not only the competence of the field that we care about, but also the competence of the language, but also the way, the teaching method. So we in Italy, the teaching is a little different than in America. It's more, you know, the professor is here. It's kind of sometimes monologues. You know, the faculty teach, and the rest of, you know, students just listen for hours. We have a more an American style, so we like, you know, a continued involvement with the students. We you know, we work a lot with case studies, projects for the students. We ask them to do projects outside of the campus, you know, and do research, interviewing people. The more they interact with the community, and the more Sant'Anna guarantee the success of our job. We don't want our American students to be on their own and live among themselves. We want to act like a bridge between our campus, our American campus here, and the territory. And we try to do everything possible to make it happen.
Mary, do you have questions?
Sure. Absolutely. So I know you mentioned flexibility, but is there other advice that you would give to students thinking about doing a study abroad in Italy?
For some students can be very tough at the beginning because they have to find themselves. So you get out from your comfort zone. The comfort zone is a place in which your identity is very clear. But sometimes the identity is, this is my personal opinion, sometimes the identity is the result of the environment you have around. So you are the son of, or the daughter of, you are the brother of, or the sister of, you are the grandkid of your grandparents. So you are somebody because you belong to somebody else, okay? Suddenly, you leave your comfort zone, and who are you? So some students need, and I think, you know, some people say, oh, you are nobody. No, you are yourself. Finally, you are yourself, but you have to look at yourself as, you know, not as a new person, but the real person you are. And it's the moment in which you can ask yourself, what are my talents? What do I really want? And so I think this is the magic of the study abroad, that, you know, students really find the real self, they find the real talents and their passions, and they can go back as who they really are, you know?
I love that answer. Mark?
Tell us how you were motivated to create this endeavor.
It's the passion for the cultures, and the passion to, I travel when the students are here, you know, in the sense that when I talk to them, I travel. Because, you know, when I talk to them and I ask the questions, so how is in your country, how is in your university? But I think the real engine is, you know, I love young kids. I think that, you know, they are the most important part of our world, and we have the responsibility to educate them, and to motivate them, to help them to understand who they really are. You know, they are too much influenced by everything. They don't even know who they are and what they really want, because somebody told them, oh, you have to become a doctor and you have to become a famous rich surgeon. But maybe they love painting, you know, maybe they want to have a farm in the middle of nowhere with a lot of cows and produce milk. Just do it. Just be yourself. I was born free. I was raised free. My parents never told me, no, you have to stay in Torino, don't leave because of this and that. They said, this is what you want. This is where your heart is, you know, leading you. This is where you want to live. Just go and be yourself. So what I'm trying to do, I would like to have our kids free to speak. This is what sometimes I'm a little frustrated. And this is a big difference between Italians and Americans, especially with the young kids. We're very straight. Italians say, you know, sometimes too straight. We say what we think. And sometimes our big challenge with our students is to tell them, please be honest. Are you really happy? Is there something that you don't like? Don't worry, I'm not getting offended. I'm asking because if you tell me, I can do something to help this situation. So be free to speak, be free to be yourself, be free to say, if you don't like it, or if you don't like what I'm saying, there is nothing wrong. The world is nice because we have different minds, and we have to be free to express ourselves. This is what makes our piazza in Italy so lively, because people argue, but we are even more friends after our argument. So this is probably our big mission for our students, to especially and for the Italian Americans, to give them a little bit of Italianity, bring back in the country, and spread you know, their experience with other Italian Americans, and motivate other Italian Americans to come here, get the experience, because only if we have this movement, Italian American heritage will continue to stay.
Well, I think that was a great summation on a wonderful program today. We appreciate you telling us all about the Sant'Anna Institute. Really expanded my knowledge, and I think everybody else is on the show, and certainly our audience. And we appreciate your time, and thank you very much for joining us from Sorrento, Italy.
And Mark, if I may jump in real quickly. So sure. I do want to mention that Sant'Anna is a partner of the Order of Sons and Daughters of Italy in America. If you go to our website, you can learn more about our partnership, the availability for our young Italian Americans to go back to Italy, find their roots, explore their culture.
I appreciate you putting that in, Justin. And again, thank you, Christiana, for telling us all about, and we appreciate it.
Arrivederci a Sorrento.
All right. Thanks for joining us on the Italian America Show. And I think that's a wrap for today.
For more related topics in this series, please visit our YouTube channel, Order Sons and Daughters of Italy in America.
For more information on Order Sons and Daughters of Italy in America and how to join, please visit osdia.org. Please also follow us on social media. The Italian America Show is sponsored by Full Sponsorship, Cento Fine Foods, Trust Your Family with Our Family, the Bianchi Law Group, Dr. K, the Management Professor, the authors of the #1 international best-selling cookbook, Don't Cut the Basil, Dr. Mark D'Annunzio, National 4th Vice President, Order Sons and Daughters of Italy in America. The Grand Lodges from the following states: New York, Ohio, Virginia, Maryland. Long Shot Productions, Get Back in the Game. ACMT, Excellence in Aerospace Manufacturing,